All right, everyone. Good morning. We are back for another day. So this is Unit 6, Quadrilaterals, Day 1B. So I know we have Day 1, 1A, and 1B, just because 1B is a review. We did this first semester, and we also did this last year in algebra. So slope and equations of lines. We're going to need these in order to prove whether quadrilaterals are rectangles or squares, because we're going to be finding parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's remind ourselves. So this is the slope formula, okay? So if you're asked to find the slope and you are given 2 points, so x1, y1, and x2, y2, this is how you find it. So the y's are on the top and the x's are on the bottom. You also can find it by doing rise over run on the actual graph. So I have a point down here, I have a point up here. I'm going to rise until I get to that line, and then I'm going to run to that line. So the rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the run is 2, and it's 8 over 2, y over x, okay? And 8 over 2 is reduced to 4 over 1. Now, this is important. I ran to the left. Left means negative, so it's a negative 4 over 1. That's the answer. For B, I didn't rise at all. There's no rising going from x to y. There's only running. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I ran 8 to the right, and I didn't rise at all. So 0 over 8 would be a 0 slope. So when I have a flat line, I have a 0 slope. All right, moving right along, let's do the next few. So I'm going to rise and run. So rise and run to the next one. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 and run 1, 2, 3, 4. I ran to the left. So it's negative 3/4. The negative is in front. This one right here, as I said, if it is a horizontal line, if it's flat, it is a 0 slope, okay? So slope is 0. All right, so I want you to try C. So going from the lower point, rise and run to the next one. I'm going to the right. I'm going to the right. Right means positive slope. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to run 3. So 6 over 3 equals 2 over 1, or just 2. All right, now this one's the opposite. It's a vertical line, so I went straight up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is my rise. I did not run at all. Okay, so it's 0. So 6 over 0 is called undefined. Okay, undefined. So that means that your slope doesn't work. 6 divided by 0. You can't divide by a 0. So if you put in your calculator, it would say error. Okay, so undefined. All right, so now we're going to write these in graphing form. So if you can put this on your notes, that would be great. It's not added. It's not put in your notes, but I'd like you to put them on there. So graphing form, y equals a times x minus h plus k. HK is just a point that they give you, and slope is A. Okay, it's also known as M, so you can also put an M here. All right, so write an equation in HK form of the line whose slope is negative 3/5, and the point is negative 10, 8. So the point is HK, and then my slope is A or M, and I'm going to plug it in. So I have y equals, okay? And then I'm going to go from here. So y and the x don't change. The y and the x, these are part of the equation. Now I'm going to put in the rest of the information. So the slope is negative 3/5. I'm going to put that in front. My h is negative 10, and my k is plus 8. Okay, now I'm going to put that, I'm going to simplify it so these two negatives make a positive. So I have y equals negative 3/5 times x plus 10 plus 8 on the outside. Okay? All right, now let's try it again. So my slope is 1/3, so M or A, and my point is 6, 6, negative 3, so that's my h and k. So I have y equals something times x minus something plus something. All right, so my slope is 1/3. Plug that in. My h is 6, and my k is negative 3. So if you wanted to simplify that, y equals 1/3 times x minus 6 minus 3. So if you notice, the inside is opposite. So it says negative 6, but it's a positive 6 based on the formula that you wrote down. Okay, negative 3, it's just as it's written on the outside. All right, so let's talk about slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. Slopes of parallel lines. Okay, they have the same slope, so make sure you underline that or highlight that. Perpendiculars. Perpendiculars, the product of their slope is -1. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that they're reciprocal and they're opposite signs. So if you had 4, your perpendicular would be -1/4. Okay, so that would be the difference. So write an equation in slope-intercept form for a line perpendicular to the line y equals 1/2 x plus 2. So a line that's perpendicular. Okay, so if this slope is 1/3, well, what is the reciprocal of that? 3, and it's going to be negative. This is positive. I need one that's negative. Remember, perpendicular, I need to make that 90 degrees. So one is going to be a positive slope and one's going to be a negative slope. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so I have my slope, m or a, whatever you want to put, and then this is hk. So y equals -3 times x minus 0 plus 8. So that's what I'd write as my equation. Or once I do if I distribute and solve, I could get y equals -3x plus 8, because -3 times 0 is just 0. So either of those will work as my final answer. I found my new slope and I plugged in the points. All right, so determine whether FG and HJ are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So first I need to graph these points. So please graph these lines and check back. Okay, I'm going to find the slope of each of these once I graph them, and now I'm going to find the slope of each of them and see what we've got. So this one is up. So I have 1, -3, and I have -2, -1. So I went up 2 and over 3. So 1, 2, and over 3. So that's -2/3. Okay, and then I have I have HJ. So HJ, so it was 5, 0, and then 6, 3. So I went up 3 and over 1. So that slope would be 3. So yes, this does not have a connection. They're not parallel or perpendicular. They are actually neither. Okay, so that would be the answer for example 3. All right, the next one, determine whether these are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So again, graph these two lines. We want to find out AB, so the line AB, what's the slope, and CD, what's the slope, and see if they're parallel or perpendicular or neither. All right, so my red line is AB, so I'm going to kind of change this to red. Okay, so I'm going to find the slope, so up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, I didn't go far enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 over 6, which equals 1. All right, and then CD. Sorry, I went a little bit off the map. Okay, so CD is my green one. Okay, so I'm going to rise and run. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that was -3 over 3, which would be -1. Okay, well, if 1 is 1, if AB is 1, the slope, and the second one is -1, okay, those are actually the reciprocal, and one's positive and one's negative. So if this line kept going, it would cross it at the 90 degrees, which means it's perpendicular. Parallel means if they were the same slope. Perpendicular means that they are, again, reciprocal and opposite. And then neither, they don't have a relationship. All right, so I want to actually graph one more line just so you have an example. So I want you to graph, let's do EF. So for EF, sorry, I wanted to graph one more for you guys for an example. So EF, E is -2, -4, F is 2, 0. And then if I plotted these points, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 4 over 4, which would equal 1. So what would that mean? That A, B, and EF are parallel. Or you could draw these two lines. Okay? And then AB and EF are perpendicular, or you could also draw this symbol. Okay? So if they're the same lines, if they're the same slopes, it's parallel. If they are opposite sign and reciprocal, they are perpendicular. All right, so thanks for this review. You'll definitely be using it in your future notes on quadrilaterals. Have a great day.